1 p.m. on April 28th. Sharon?
Please note, council meetings are streamed live and recorded on YouTube. Attendees acknowledge that in accordance with Section 17.2 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, names, addresses, and other details provided when speaking at a council meeting will be publicly shared. Should you have any questions related to the collection or disclosure of personal information, please contact the Legislative and Advisory Services Division for the Town of High River by sending an email to foip@highriver.ca.
Thanks, Sharon. Adoption of the agenda for today's meeting. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that Committee of the Whole adopt the agenda for the Committee of the Whole meeting April 28th as presented.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. You have the motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. And from the previous meeting, ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that the Committee of the Whole adopt the minutes from the April 14th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting as presented.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Aquatics expansion. Do I see Kaylee or who's?
Me.
You.
Kaylee sends her regrets. She was unexpectedly called away last minute.
No problem.
So you have me as instead. So recent activities, the highlights there being a lot of the mechanical is starting to take shape. It looks like a forest of drain pipes where the change room is, so it's nice to see that coming together. The temporary well for the dewatering of the groundwater is in, and we're waiting on the pump installation now. Once they get that complete, they'll start looking at putting in the ultimate solution, which will involve a very large hole. So that's kind of recent activities. Upcoming activities, I think, kind of just continuing on. I'll let you read at your leisure. And then the list of change orders. We've added a couple near the end there with regards to pedestal revisions for the water slide, tariffs, and I think those are the new ones. In regards to the groundwater change order, you'll now see that we have completed item 1 of the change directive, and so there's pricing right to current, and there will be no further charges for item 1. Item 2, they are working on that. Again, that's kind of part of the dewatering well is part of that, and so they have started on that. With regards to tariffs, we did talk to, we did review the contract. The town is responsible for paying any increase in tariffs. We have told Chandos that we want to treat these as change orders, so essentially they have to demonstrate what tariff they would have had to pay before and what they would have, or what they're going to pay currently. We're also discussing some of the timing in terms of can we defer? Is there different options? Is there a local option that won't have a tariff, etc.? And so we will continue to work through that. Milestones, there's no changes. So the dates you saw last time are still the dates now, with project completion in June of 26. And then lastly, we do have a future impact on the facility. We are looking at another closure in May for 5 days for some duct replacement. We've had a lot of interruptions to date. Some are construction related, some are operating related, and we do plan on coming to council in the future to discuss what that might look like for our patrons. Those with term passes, like monthly or annual passes, have been impacted quite a bit. And when we originally discussed this, we hadn't contemplated this many short closures, and we would like to revisit that with council. So in a future meeting, you'll be hearing from us on that. And with that, I would be happy to take questions. I apologize, I was a little more brief than Kaylee, but I don't quite have all the details.
Thanks, Riley. Questions from council? I see none, I hear none. Thanks, Riley.
Thank you. Just, sorry, one thing to add. Kaylee, council requested another tour. Kaylee is working with Shandos to schedule something, so hopefully some dates will come forward shortly.
Thank you. Snow and ice control 2024-2025 season update overview. David?
Good afternoon. Is this working? Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is David Kennedy, because I don't think I've met any of you. I'm the road supervisor. I'm here to share a summary of our snow and ice control of the operations of 24-25 winter season. This season kicked off with a heavy snowfall in November, about 2 weeks into my tender here, so it got all of us going real quick. We totaled 35 centimeters just in that very first snowfall. The rest of the winter was pretty mild, as we totaled 83 centimeters the rest of the winter. But in December, we did have a large rainfall that then froze and turned our streets into ice. And I'm sure you all saw the photos of people skating on the streets. Yeah, so that nearly depleted our sand and salt pile by trying to catch up and get some of that melted and work with the grader on that. So we had to order an additional stockpile of salt and sand to replenish and maintain our service levels. We continued focusing on priority routes, driving lanes, school zones, emergency routes. Just the driving lanes, though, not our parking lanes. This was our 5th year using beet juice as a brine solution, which improved the melting and reducing snow buildup. This year we used about 2,800 liters of brine. We use a 1-ton truck with a spray bar and drive around and put it down before we have any of these snow events. We also were able to repurpose about 1,100 tons of sand that was recovered from last year's street sweeping and other places. That saved the town about $39,000 compared to what we would have to pay to have sand and salt trucked in. We continue our partnership with Summit Property Group, and right now we have a 1-year extension that's currently under review for next snow season. Center Street and 12th Avenue driving lanes is still cleared by Volker Steven. While we still, as the town, clear the parking lanes, which is done at a later date usually. Downtown sidewalks and accessible areas are cleared by Summit daily by 8 a.m., left in snow piles, which the town then removes in the early mornings. Monday Park and the RCMP detachment is also managed by Summit and maintained according to their contract. Town facilities are cleared on the weekdays by town crews and weekends by the contractors, which is also Summit. We follow the road priority system as per policy, with priority routes receiving joint attention from town and contractors. Alleys and lanes are not necessarily cleared unless our garbage trucks or emergency vehicles need that. Our happy trails and pathways are cleared the weekdays by the crews, and weekends and holidays by our contractor as well. They do one pass and then we come and widen it to the full width of the pathway. On the financials, if you look, I actually made a mistake in typing in last year's downtown and facility price. I had it at $48,000. It's actually $78,000. It's $78,232, and if you notice, it adds up to, at that price, it then adds up to $171, not $48,000 at the first one. So the total contracted snow service this year amounted to $197,000. Which 98,000 of that was downtown, 30,000 the weekday happy trails, 29,000 Center Street, 34 for the extra costs such as salt, sand that we had to bring in extra this year. That's also largely due in November, that snowfall. We had the crews out more often downtown, trying to get cleared up before the parade and such. And same thing, a lot of the snowfall and the ice happened to be weekends, so Summit was out quite regularly on our pathways, clearing them. The main concern from residents this year was our December ice event, which made streets extremely icy. Our team worked extremely hard to address these issues, responding with excessive sanding, salting, and grader work all combined together. While the winter was mild overall, the icing event tested our team resources and offered new and continued learning for our department. Emphasis on brine use, material reuse, and effective contractor support helped us manage effectively. This report is for council, and I'm happy to answer any questions you provide or provide any additional details.
Thanks, David. Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. And thank you for the report. It's kind of neat to see the difference in the years and sort of what's being done so that we may also share that with members of our community as they're asked. One thing about the ice, like I know it was a big deal for everybody this year. So when you put, I understand, you know, putting sand and salt on it, but what was happening was it was just kind of melting back into the ice and then just staying there as ice. Are there other ways to remove the ice, or is that quite a process?
So we do add the grater to that, and with it melting through like that, it makes it a little softer for the grater to get in and start cutting it up. But also we did also bring in just a chip mix that then wouldn't melt through as fast as as just salt and sand. So towards
something like that sits more on top?
Exactly, it's more granular and it'll sit on top instead.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
No further questions. All clear.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Oh, hang on. Councillor Nychuk.
No question, Mr. Mayor. Just discussion on forward going. Obviously, David, you said there were some learnings that happened from this year. I trust that those learnings are going to be applied to future years. Just curious about, because there was a lot of talk about ice. Flat out, you guys do what you do. It's winter. It's Canada. Stuff melts and freezes. What's the expectation or level of service? We always have this conversation, but when you have an event like this, lots of people tend to provide comment on the ice being around. I guess I just want to make sure that our operations department has a good and clear direction from this council on what that expectation is, and that's carried forward to the community. We can buy jet engines and go out and melt ice all over the roads. That's expensive. So there's a realization of what is practical and feasible to the community, and what is personal ownership of your behavior on the streets in your car or the way you walk. Sorry, I'm gonna be blunt. It's not easy living in Canada. It's not Palm Springs. We can't have dry sidewalks and streets all the time. So I guess I'm somewhat defending the operations department in the sense that there can be very difficult times. And we come to this every year on what that expectation is. And I just want to make sure that as a council, we are clear on the direction and we communicate to the residents what that direction is and what we can accomplish feasibly with the manpower we have and with the dollars we have. And then also, we're always talking about educational components about, those things tend to be a little bit common sense to me, but put snow tires on your vehicle. If you're really concerned about ice, then stud your tires. There's lots of footwear now that is available and usable. I know because my wife has these things for school. She teaches. And they are, for lack of a better term, crampons now, and crampons are used for ice climbing. But there are now variants that you can buy on Amazon for a very cheap price that help with that kind of stuff. So I wanted to bring that up because this has been an ongoing topic every year. There's never the right solution for everybody. We do the best we can, but we also want to make sure that we're all supportive meaning not just council, not just administration operations, but the community as well, and how we move forward with trying to take care of these kinds of things, because it is Canada and it is winter, and it's tough to have everything bare concrete or bare pavement, and that's the ideal, but from a realistic perspective, I don't believe it's achievable. It costs a lot of money to get there, and we can dismiss other services in the case of that, but then it's a big conversation anyway. I didn't know if we were going to talk about that today or if we're going to talk about it in the future, but just wanted to bring that up.
Thanks, Michael. Jenny?
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass, and all good points, Michael, for sure. While I had the opportunity, I actually wanted to say thank you for the continued maintenance on 64th Street Southeast. It's been noticed and appreciated. Thank you.
Councillor Barton?
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the report. That was good. I guess one question that I have is that with all of the things that you did learn, especially around the ice event, is there anything significant that you guys would like to change in the future? Things that we need to start looking at? Or
I think it would just be preparedness by our team for those events is the biggest thing. There's not a lot we could do. Like we have the ability. It's just being prepared for those events is the biggest thing.
yeah, fair enough. Nope. Okay, appreciate that.
All good. Thanks, David. Thank you. Question and answer, Council to Administration. Anybody? See none, hear none. Meeting adjourned, 1:16 p.m.